So as much as I'd love to carry on doing stuff in the garden, right now I've decided I really have to get back to doing projects in the house because they're getting forgotten. Also, this 2.5 tonne of compost that I've had delivered today is teasing me, but yes, let's get on to more important things. So what I'm about to show you is how I installed this, you, and this, which I've got a feeling this one needs to be moved because we're not really getting a great signal, so we'll deal with that later. And it all starts with this security light without a camera, and it's questionable wiring to a ceiling rose mounted to the soffits. So this is the kit I'll be trying to replace it with that I actually bought in Black Friday, which is 4 months ago. That's how long I've taken to get round to doing this. And it's a Ring Floodlight Cam Wired Pro. Now, if that means nothing to you, it's an outdoor security camera with an LED light and a siren. So I've watched a few videos of installing it and it looks pretty straightforward, just replacing a cable. We'll see, because our situation might be a little bit different to theirs. Now, this is the only thing that I'll be wiring today, but once I've done that, I'll be moving on to these that we've also treated ourselves to, which are battery powered and wireless. So we've got a battery Doorbell Plus, a Chime Pro, and 4 stick-up battery powered cameras, which are for external use and work day and night. And we'll put those dotted around the property and hopefully towards the barn area as well. And I feel like I need to point this out just in case. This is absolutely not sponsored. I'm very well aware there's many other brands in the market for this. In fact, tell me, what do you prefer if you don't like Ring? But we're already paying Ring for an internal camera that we use in our porch as a doorbell/security camera. And I'm hoping it integrates well with our existing devices because Amazon own Ring. So before I put it up, this is what it looks like. I thought it looked like cheap plastic initially, but when you feel it, there's some weight to this. Now, we could replace the light in this position if we wanted to, but there's a cable that runs here underneath the fascia, the soffit, and then up to this point here, a junction box. And we're thinking about putting it here and bypassing this ugly thing. But then I've got another predicament of, is there any solid wood underneath here? Because when you press it, it moves. We know that the Ring camera is quite heavy, so I've had to start looking for where the rafters are. Some of the fascia is nailed to a rafter here. There's exactly the same thing on the other side, and there's a cable clip here, so I actually want to just do a test with a screw in this same hole, just to see if I can grip it to something. It'd be a lot quicker and easier if I did mount it to the wood here, rather than drilling it into masonry. So I've got pliers. So I'll take this cable clip out. It's blooming rusty. Yay. Right, I'm going to test with a longer screw to see if it goes in. I think that's fixed. So I've decided to cut some twin and earth cable. I'm going to try and feed it through on an angle and get Mr. TCD to pull it from the other side, or I'll go up, because it needs to go around there and then probably about 2 feet, because this, I can't get to this part at all because this is the overhang on the eaves. I'm just going to undo that. Now I've turned the electrics off and I'm going to remove this mounting plate and then try and drill a hole at the side, close-ish to the wires, but obviously don't want to catch them. That way, if this does not work out, I can cover up the hole. So I'm going to unscrew this first. Actually, that hole's big. That hole doesn't need me to do that. It's about that wide. So ignoring this extra cable that is feeding the existing light, there's actually 2 cables here, because one is going to the consumer unit and the other one's going to a light switch in the hall. We're going to try and push that all inside and replace this white cable with a new twin and earth cable, and hopefully you won't see any of this mess. I start bending and pushing in the new cable on an angle to see if I can get it through before even attempting to remove the old ones. This could work, please work. Can you hear me? Can you feel it? I've only got a foot left. We just thought this was a perfect opportunity to simplify and update the old cable with the new one and retain the existing switch if we wanted to disconnect it easily in the future. But we had no luck poking it through, so we swapped positions. I found insulation was blocking the way, so after removing it temporarily, we had better luck.
Oh, what? Oh, carry on. You're pushing insulation. No, I can't see it. Oh yeah, yes. So Mr. TCD has got one end of the cable and I'm pulling this end. I got it.
Once I'd got it, I knew I could pull the old black cables with the earth spliced together back into the loft so we could tidy it all up. But I left that for now and focused on wiring up the light outside while we still had daylight. So this white cable here is defunct, it's not going anywhere. And I've got my mounting plate that I want to put over the hole, so I'm going to thread this through the plate. There's a little rubber grommet here that I've got to put back. Oh, it'd be nicer if this was summer. Also, while I was up there, I saw plywood above the soffits, so I should be okay screwing that to that. I'll let that dangle. I need to go get the light. So ideally, I think we'd like it there. There's only one way this will go. Oh, I think that's fine. We'll try and do it on that angle. I marked the screw holes with a pencil before screwing the light's base plate to the soffit covered plywood. Now, before I move on to the wiring, I may as well unscrew this light as well. Done. So before I use my wire strippers on this and connect it, I just need to remove this plate here, keep that safe. And by the time I connect the wire into the connectors, I'm meant to put this back over it to secure it. So I'm going to strip off just over 1 inch. And strip some of the sheath off the conductors. Right, the earth sleeve is going on. I'm going to curl that up because I don't want it to fall off while I'm unscrewing these. So you can just about see it. There's a neutral at the end, live at the other end, and earth in the middle. I partially unscrew the connector block screws to get ready to match up my wires, but bending the wires on an angle was a bit of a challenge. I've got an idea. Because we've used such good thick cable, I've had to unscrew the plate just to get at it. That's giving me a bit more give on this cable. I'm screwing the brown to the live, but I'm going to test each one. Yep, that's not coming out. And repeated my tug test for the earth and neutral wires. So the little rubber grommet seal is now over the cable, trapped to the mounting plate. So that should be hopefully watertight. And now I'm putting this little mounting plate back. I really don't want to drop these screws because if I drop them on this floor, I won't be able to find them. Hooray. So now I need to connect the wires from the ring light into the other side of the connector block. And I'm quite relieved these are longer, so hopefully I can push it in, do a bit of a juggling act, and then put it all back together. Okay, so I'm putting the round into the round, that's the way. And matched my final wires. I tell you what, I miss Wago connectors, it's quicker than this. And I'm glad we're only in a bungalow. Mind you, I'd probably have this a bit further up mid of the wall, not right up at the top. Now the mounting plate could go back up. There. Right, I need to tuck the cables inside while also closing this. There. So the little black nuts that come with it, I'm going to twist it a little bit first. And then use the tool provided, which is that, and twist it on. Get that out of the way. So I've got the cable through here, and now I'm going to strip it with my wire strippers. For the original old wires that were outside, I put it back together exactly how it was before, but attached with Wagos and with a neutral identifier this time round. But if you're unsure of any of this, definitely get an electrician. And here's what it looked like in the dark in action. Now the floodlight is installed and it's working, but we do need to set it up. I'm going to leave that for now and move on to the Ring Battery Doorbell Plus. And we've got all of the batteries charging for the rest of them, the cameras And although this is battery powered, it does give the option of wiring up as well. And because I'm a little bit more confident from yesterday, I'm going to try and replace our existing doorbell. And I know that our doorbell transformer is compatible, so why not? And to set it up, I've got the instructions ready on the app that I'm going to be following at the same time. So let's go outside. And it's really cold today, so I'm wearing a hat. So our existing doorbell is here. Every time we press it, the dog thinks there's somebody at the door. Don't you, boy? He's confused. And the wire, if you can see, is trapped behind the silicone, so that might be a pain just to get out. It goes all the way at the top, and then through here, and there's a saggy bit, it goes up to there, and then comes down and feeds to another one, which is also wired to the consumer unit, which is just over there. So that one's pointless, but I'm going to leave that for now and wire this one up, try to. And you might think, oh, it's sagging. Well, this is about 150 centimetres high, and the instruction says that the doorbell needs to be 1.2 metres. Hopefully, by the time I've disconnected this, pulled it down for some give, I should be able to get roughly the right height. Apparently it's good at detecting deliveries, packages delivered to your door, and we're always getting Amazon deliveries. So it's told me to charge and insert the battery. It's already charged, so I'll put that in. Oh, it spoke. That's exactly the same noise as the security light.
Now connected to the Ring app.
It didn't even ask for anything. We'll make sure we turn this off so you can hear it working. Let's test it again. Cool. So I'm taking this off, but I don't want to damage it. Oh. Ah. I think that was super glued. Now it's wedged between the door frame and the brick, and there's also some silicone there. So I'm just going to try and gently pull this out. Oh, freaking hell, please work. So that wasn't easy. I don't know if it just deteriorated over time, but as I'm pulling it, the sheath is just coming off, and I've now got exposed wires. So we'll go back to plan A, just use the battery for now, and if we do want to hardwire it later, we'll have to get a new wire for it. So I've had to go back to battery mode on the setup instructions, and now, before I even read them, I'm just marking out 1.2 metres, which is really low. So this comes with an angled mounting bracket to direct your camera, and because I'm in a corner here, I think the camera's better aiming that way. Before I start marking my drill holes, which I need a 6mm drill bit for the raw plugs provided, I'm just lining up the raw plug with my drill bit. I'll go slightly more, just tape it up, that's my stopping point. It's not foolproof. I offer up the bottom of my mounting plate to my pencil line. I'm going to draw inside the oblong where I need to drill some holes. And I've got it on hammer drill setting. Clear it out, put it back in. Right, I'm pushing the raw plug in, hopefully it'll go in. Now before I drill my next hole, what I'm going to do is offer up the plate, and then I'm going to use a smaller drill bit just to drill inside the oblong, because I can slot it through there to mark a hole, and then do my final drill with a chunkier drill bit. Right, last one. Then, using the screwdriver provided, I screwed the camera to the plate. So now I've got to put the cover plate on, but I've been given special instructions to use a Torx bit provided with a Torx screw. So it's a security thing. So I mustn't lose this screwdriver, but I can imagine lots of Ring criminals out there have got one of these anyway. But we're in a quiet village. So there's a little tab here, we're going to pull the security cover off. Oh. Yeah, smart little thing. So let's fast forward, because my doorbell wire has arrived, and I've taken the unit off, and I'm going to try and poke this from this side through to this little gap here. So this spoke has got a little hook, and I'm going to try and pull it through. Oh, yes! Right, I'll trim that tidy. There. Separate that. We had a feeling it was going to rain, but I knew we could bring it inside and crack on. So I've got to unscrew these two, strip the wires a little bit longer, wrap them around it, and then screw it down. So I'm creating some hooks. And now I'm putting it all back together. So I've had to nail it in the corner and hidden it as much as I could in the cladding. This porch isn't going to be like this forever, but now I'm back to my original point that we know this is wired to. In an ideal world, I would have put it in the roof, but I would have to take this off and drill a hole. I'm not prepared to do that right now. So I'm just going to cut this off. Because it was chaos inside here with really tiny wires, I've just put these connectors on. And these are very low powered because there's a transformer just over here. And it doesn't matter which one I apply it to. So everything's back to normal. You'd never know any different apart from when we go on the app, it now says hardwired. So the next thing we want to install is a Ring Chime Pro. I've unboxed it, taking everything out. It comes with 2 types of adapters. So obviously because we are British, we've put a good old 3-pin plug on the back. And then to set it up, we've already scanned the QR code on the back of this device. Anyway, let's follow it and I'll see you at the end. So I'm going to plug it into our socket, but how it works is when the doorbell rings, this will make a noise and it's towards the back of our house. So it can boost Wi-Fi to the cameras that we set up around the barns and things, hopefully. We've already set up the camera for this on the app, just like we have done with the other devices. Now the mounting plate is at the bottom and I want to attach it to the back so I can fix it to a brick wall. So I'm going to unscrew this first. There. This is a mounting disc that I need to take off and it says up, push it in the opposite direction to remove it. And now I need to undo this screw. And that comes off. So I need to mount that to the back of the camera. And there's a rubber seal here, which I'm going to take out, and then just screw that to the back of there. Then I'll pop that back, line it up with the lock markings. Rubber grommet thing goes back on the bottom. So now it's ready to mount to a brick wall by using this as the mounting plate. Once it's on, I can slot that back on. Before I mount it, there is an extra security screw that I can put in the base of it. And I think that would be annoying for the times when I just want to take the battery out and charge it. So after setting the first camera up, we've been checking through our app to see whether we liked the view or not, and then moved it from place to place. When mounting these plates, I've got less room forever than I did with the doorbell. So what I want to do is start off marking them with a smaller drill bit that does fit through the hole, and I'm only going to drill one hole at a time. So now I'm going to put the raw plug in. So now I'm going to temporarily screw this in. Just make sure it's lined up where you want it. And I can use my drill bit again to mark a drill hole. Unscrew that. Now I know I'm not going to go wrong when I do my final drill hole. Yeah. So I've removed the security screw cover. So I need to mount that on. Screwing that there so nobody can really take it off unless they had a screwdriver and some ladders. So that's on. Now we want some surveillance towards our barn area. So we're going to go over here, constantly checking with our signal to see whether it dips and how far we can go. So we'll walk over here. No, there. So this one's nice and simple. We're screwing it to the top of our stables and it's straight into wood. So that's all of them installed. We just need to wait now for some activity. Right, let's go in, hands. Come on. So after putting all the cameras in their final positions around the bungalow and driveway, we found setting them up through the app an absolute doddle. All you need to know is log on to the Ring app, click Add Device, and the first setup is always scan the unique barcode on the back of the device or box. The app then leads you through a simple step-by-step process for both the software and hardware installation. Also, I'm particularly loving the fact that I can watch any of the cameras on my Echoes. Alexa, show me the driveway. And obviously I can look at them through my phone, but that's very handy when I'm working and I just want to see who's at the driveway or any deliveries that have turned up, which is usually the case. And this might look very awesome, seeing a few cameras on one screen. But the downfall here is you can only watch up to 4 at any one time. You've got to switch them over, and it's only on for a limited time as well. But what did we catch? Well, the first night we were very disappointed because we didn't pick up much, just a few windy trees or us in and out of the property. It didn't even detect our dog because the default setting is smart battery saving mode. So what we did was make them less smart by disabling the fancy features like focused areas of interest, people detection. This way, where it would normally have ignored wildlife, on our second night we realised our garden was a party venue for badgers, foxes, neighbourhood cats, oh, that's not a cat, that's a cat chaser. He'd go berserk if he knew what was lurking around the corner. But we've also realised we've got a problem with our stables being offline because it's too far away. So we're going to have to move it closer to the property or try and boost the Wi-Fi somehow. So if you've got any tips and recommendations, please let me know in the comments, because I also want to capture things on the paddock because we know that there's deer there every now and again. But now we know what keeps creating these tracks in the garden and why Hansy's probably weighing on everything. So is this a security system you'd have around your house? And would you do anything differently? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully I'll see you there, and hopefully I get to do some gardening very soon, once I've probably fixed this guttering. Thanks for watching. Bye.